there! Today we are going to look at how we respond to ourselves in difficult times. I'll be talking about self compassion and how we can exercise self compassion. So, when I look at myself and also some of my clients, I notice that in difficult times, we sometimes use very harsh words against ourselves. It expresses self hate, worthlessness, shame, guilt, and self criticism. And we will say things like this. We say, I'm a failure. Why am I always like this? You're an idiot. This should not be happening. Nothing's going to change. All these words of despair and disappointment. And why do we use these words? We'll talk about that very soon. But before we move on, I want you to pause the video for a moment and write down what your inner critic says to you when you face failure, make a mistake, or feel disappointed at yourself. What words does it use? What kind of tone? And it perhaps is an image that show up in your brain when you face the moments of despair and disappointment. So I want you to pause the video and write it down on a paper. But why do we use this self-hate? A lot of times we use it to criticize and motivate us. We use the criticism as a motivator and pushes us with harsh words. Of course, it may create short bursts of improvement, but in the long term, the research shows that it's related to negative outcomes like stress, anxiety, depression, and burnout. It's because there are physiological response that increases stress hormones and reduces our confidence. So the alternative of self criticism is using compassion towards ourselves. Compassion means means together, passion means suffering. So it's to suffer together. So this is the feeling that you experience when you see someone suffering and you want to relieve that suffering. And so self compassion is you do that towards yourself. It's about becoming your own ally and friend instead of an inner enemy. And also treating yourself the way you would treat a friend or treat someone that you really love. And the motivation of self compassion stems from the inner desire for your self well being. It wants you to do better and improve and be healthy. And so when we use self compassion as a motivator, it's more effective and sustainable than using self criticism because it promotes the sense of safety and not threat by shifting the body system to care and balance. And being supportive and providing validation of the difficulties and struggles, it can lead to resilience and more persistence and not wanting to give up the goals. And so when we use self-compassion or talk about self-compassion, I see a lot of resistance from clients because of the misconceptions and connotation relating to self-compassion. It's not self-pity. It's different from self-esteem or self-centered or self-indulgent. And it's not about being lazy. So self-compassion there are three components to it, and we'll go through each of them. One is self-kindness, common humanity, and mindfulness. So this model was proposed by Dr. Kristen Neff, and I'm going to talk about her resources at the end as well. So the first component is mindfulness. Mindfulness is intentional living with your awareness of the present moment. And it's not about judging good or bad, but it's not clinging to the past or going for the future, but simply notice your present thoughts and feelings and sense the moment. So you ask yourself, what am I experiencing right now? And sense of common humanity is recognizing that your suffering is not unique to you, but life is full of suffering, and people all go through making mistakes, and there's pain in living and being human, and it's normal. So it's about acceptance and not resisting it. When you resist the pain, it actually increases the suffering. And then it's remembering that we are just humans, we're not perfect, and life is not perfect. And the last part of self compassion is self kindness. After being aware of what we are feeling with mindfulness, we ask ourselves, what do I need right now? I'm in the moment of suffering. It's not punishing yourself, but asking, how can I act kind towards myself? So it might be saying something that's kind to me, or making myself a cup of tea, doing something that will care for me. So I want you to look at the phrase that you've written in exercise 2.1 and try to rephrase them using the three components of self-compassion that I told you about. And I want you to be taking self-compassion break as well, which consists of mindfulness, recognizing our common humanity, and self-kindness. So here is on the website of Kirsty Neff, there is a script on compassion break, and you first notice the sensation in the body. What am I feeling? This is moment of suffering, moment of stress. Ouch! Just recognizing, naming the emotion, and then saying to yourself, "I'm not alone. Suffering is part of the living, and where I can make mistakes. I'm just like other human beings." And then ask yourself, what do I need right now? And show act of kindness. So these are some resources that are available online, and you can go through the exercise one by one to explore and develop your sense of self-compassion. So hopefully today's video was helpful for you, and remember that you deserve the same kindness you'd offer a friend or someone you love. So I want you to start with one gentle step of accepting yourself, being kind to yourself, and being your own ally and not in your enemy. Have a good day, and I'll see you next time.